Today I'm going to inform you about security forces. To understand security forces, it is important to look at its history, air and space function, and how security forces accomplish homeland security. Each branch of the armed forces has their own version of military police. For example, the Army have military police, MPs, the Navy have master armed MAs, and the Marines have the security forces regiment, but by far the best is the Air Force security forces. Hello, my name is James Jefferson. Today I'm going to share the history of the security force career field. I will discuss their air and space function and capabilities, and finally I will discuss how security forces accomplish homeland protection. First, let's talk about the history of the security forces career field. Throughout its history, security force has always been a physical and mental demanding career field, requiring highly focused and professional individuals. The United States Air Force security forces can trace their lineages beginning in World War II from the 1942 Army Aviation Police Company. On 1 September 1950, the first air police school opened in Tyndall Air Force Base, Florida. In 1966, we changed, the career field changed. We went from just normal police to security police. In 1975, a Major General Thomas Sadler, he was in charge of security forces at the time. He wanted to bring the security force into the mainstream of the Air Force. So he created in '76 a distinctive hat that we wore. It was called a beret, and at the time we wore different match comms crests for whatever command you were in. So if you were ACC, you wore ACC crest. If you were Space Command, you wore Space Command crest. Um, According to SafeSide.org, in 1997, the 820th Security Forces Group was formed. That changed a lot for security forces. One thing it changed was the crest went away, and we went to a unified flash. Now that I've given you a little background about security forces, let's discuss the stateside and deployment function. The basic goal of a security forces member is to protect the people, property, and resources of the United States Air Force at home and deployed 24 hours a day. Security forces for base force protection do include use of deadly force. Use of deadly force is in the nuke world. We do guard nuclear weapons as every security force has been tasked with doing that at some point. We protect the base, we protect the resources. That may be the planes, that may be the people, that may be equipment. We have to protect it because it is part of the base and the base needs it to function. From hostile actions according to urbandictionary.com. Provide base law enforcement. We are trained in law enforcement. We are trained how to do tasers, traffic stops, baton, OC spray. We do get that training. So we are a law enforcement agency. Now, we're not your type of law enforcement agency that can go off base and arrest or detain people. We only deal with the base personnel or civilians that are located on our base. We check credentials of all personnel attempting to gain entry to the base and screen commercial vehicles. Anytime you enter a military installation or Air Force base, you will come in contact with a security forces member. They're going to check your identification, make sure you're good to go on base. We're also, if you're bringing a truck or a semi on base, we're going to check that too to make sure you're authorized and there's nothing that's going to harm the base or harm the personnel that's on the base. According to airforce.com, security forces have evolved to a combat expeditionary force supporting many different worldwide contingencies. Since I've been in, since 1999, we have evolved dramatically. We went from not deploying at all to now we're in Afghanistan, Iraq, Egypt. We're everywhere that we can possibly go. We are the most highly demanded career field out there today. Security forces are more just protecting the base stateside deploying. My final point is how security forces uniquely accomplishes homeland security. Security forces accomplish several unique missions requirements about homeland security. One of the unique missions we accomplish is our combat arms training maintenance teams. They train all the base personnel before they deploy. They also train them stateside on weapons qualification. They also train other security forces on weapon qualification. Because you can't protect your base and you can't perform your missions deployed if you don't know how to fire your weapon. So those are the individuals that take care of that. We also have security forces and military working dog teams. These guys are highly sought these days because they're specialized mission. They can go anywhere in the world, um, either looking for bombs or they may be looking for drugs. They also are highly tasked for the executive cabinet members, your president, your vice president, secretary of defense, for as sweeping buildings, sweeping vehicles, make sure these individuals are safe for whatever mission they're carrying out. Today you have learned about the history of security force career field, their stateside deployed function, and finally how security forces accomplishes homeland security. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my speech.